Okay, Mom. Guys, Hannah's being real good this summer.
I'm trying very hard.
We went out the other day and she had burgers and she got it wrapped in a lettuce. Okay? And I didn't say anything because I'm trying to really hard to support her.
She's like, fried chicken salad, extra sauce.
With extra jalapenos, extra pickles.
Yeah,
and this girl was like, can I get a burger wrapped in lettuce?
I'm telling you because like, girl, you gotta, you know.
I know, but you look amazing, man.
If you put the work in, then I used to do that. I used to put the work in and I would just eat junk. And then it was like, you don't see anything.
I get that.
And you're just sitting there and...
Can we all just tell her she looks absolutely amazing in the comments below?
Very much, guys. I'm learning how to take compliments this year. Okay?
While you are writing that, can you also subscribe to the channel?
Ji Hanji.
Welcome. Make sure that you are following us on all of our socials. You already know we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Please give us those 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're really close to 1,000. If not, I think we might have already reached 1,000. So make sure you give us those 5 stars. And if you guys did not already know, we are on patreon.com/OkMomPodcast. For those of you asking, Patreon is like a paid subscription platform where if you pay a little $5 a month, y'all, Canadian, which is like $2 in the States and like £3. Two pounds?
That's £2.
£2 in the UK, y'all. Okay?
You can't even get a fish and chips for that. Yeah. For real.
You can't get anything for that.
Can't get nothing.
Even the dollar store isn't that much. Everything's above that now.
That's so true.
So it's $5 a month. You guys head on over there, and every Monday we release a brand new episode for you at 7 a.m. We do some fun things over there, some car vlogs. We're taking you to food places. We're having random car chat, which is quite unfiltered and quite unhinged. And our ADHD is wild in that car. Because we get distracted.
Rude is ADHD.
It's a wild. Because guys, I'll drive to like Hina's hood and there's tractors on the road.
They're not normal tractors though. They're like...
And never did.
Guys, they look like Transformers. Okay? Like it's some necklace. Like sometimes even I'm looking, I'm like, okay, what is that?
Yeah.
Never seen that in my life before.
Yeah. And then I'm like, is he going to pull into the Tim's drive-thru? Because he's not going to fit. Like, do we have to go and hand him his coffee? This is weird.
Yeah.
So anyways,
crazy.
Y'all got to head on over to patreon.com/OkMomPodcast. Thank you very much.
Okay. So guys, today's topic of the day. Okay. First of all, before I get started, a little bit of extra info. Couple things. Diddy got a slap on the wrist. We talked about the Diddy trial on our Patreon.
We did. We did like a deep dive when the trial first began.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I'm really upset.
Me too.
Like, what is the Diddler
How
doing?
Surprised are you though?
I'm not surprised at all.
Yo, me too. Guys, when the case first started, Hina said to me, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a slap on the wrist. And I was like, I don't know. And then Hina, what did you say? Why would he get a slap on the wrist? What was the case all about?
Okay, so because some of the charges that were against him, like sex trafficking, RICO, which is like racketeering, all that stuff, like
I think it was a drug
trafficking? There was like a bunch of different things. Right. Okay. And then a lot of people were saying that, yes, these charges are there, but the prosecution is going to have a very hard time proving these things. So like, yeah, Cassie's testimony was like super heartbreaking, of course, because of everything that happened. And there was like so much evidence and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, was that considered like a RICO thing? I don't know if it was. And that's exactly what happened. So like near the end of the case, the prosecution actually took away some of the charge that they had filed against Diddy. They said, we're dropping this and this and this charge. Because if they had kept it, their case would have looked even more flimsy.
I had no idea.
He knew he was going to get a slap on the wrist. Let's just say it for what it is.
His hands are in everyone's pockets.
But has he been sentenced yet? I don't think so.
Is he being sentenced? I feel like they're just going to be like, oh, here, do some community service hours.
So on the day of where they were like, oh, he was guilty of like 2 or 3 things. And then he was like not guilty on the large charge. Okay. And on the day of, people were like, yeah, he could actually be let out today. But then the judge, Desi man, he was like, no, you're not getting out. You're staying.
Okay, but is he not being charged on like the domestic abuse?
Sex
trafficking Cassie?
Yeah. He did get charged on that. And Cassie's lawyer spoke on it, and the lawyer was like, we're actually happy that he did get charged on that. Because can you imagine You're like about to pop a baby and you're sitting in the courtroom in front of your abuser, okay? And then what happens? He gets away with it.
It's okay, but girl, when the details came out,
I could not. It was so
I think at one point I told Hannah that like I can't go down this rabbit hole because my behavior is changing.
Yeah.
The more really I was ugly. Like reading into it or reading a lot of the people who were recording and reporting on the case through TikTok, I was like, because these guys, some of the people that I was following were in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And then they'd come out and record like a minute TikTok and then go back in. Like that's how they were reporting the whole case. There's this girl, Mona. Have you followed her?
Oh, I think she's a lawyer. She used to be a lawyer and then she's on TikTok. Is that her?
No. She is a news reporter.
Maybe. I don't know.
So she's like, she's amazing. And I think it's her delivery of the story that I love because she literally delivers it like news, even though it's like in a TikTok reel.
Dang.
She was really good. Anyways, I followed her a lot. And when the details started coming out, I think at one point, like I had to put my phone away because I felt angry and frustrated. And like that side of me was coming out after I heard everything that was happening to her or that happened to her.
I mean, you know what? It just makes me angry because like you sit there and you're just like, okay, so yeah, sure. The justice system is supposed to help the ones that are the victims. And honest to God, the justice system is trash. Like
it only helps those who it wants to favor.
Yeah. If you have money, if you have power, you're solid.
Yeah.
And you will, do the most.
Yeah.
But God forbid that you have no money. God forbid. Okay, you'd probably go to jail for doing nothing. Let's just say for what it is.
For real.
And spend life there. Like, that's why it triggers me because it's just like, if Diddy didn't have money, he would have gone away forever.
For very, very... He also wouldn't have gotten this far in all the stuff that he did.
Yeah, and like, he's so well connected that you're just like... Oh.
So many people are coming out with all these different theories that like, because he's so well connected...
Yeah.
If there was any way where he was going to be guilty of anything, he probably has so many names in his pocket that he could expose for also doing the exact same things that he's done, which is why all those high powers were like, no, they also came in and helped out.
Yeah, because like, think about how big time these people are. Like Jay-Z.
Girl, Justin Bieber came out and said I had absolutely nothing. Like
That's so shocking to me.
Yeah, I know. I have never ever had anything to do with this. No comment.
Why would he comment on it? Especially because he probably knew what the outcome was going to be.
Exactly.
If he commented on it and said something like, I bet Diddy is coming. You know, Kanye went to the trial.
No way.
Yeah. The first, like one of the days he showed up and supposedly he wasn't let in. And then the second day he was let in.
Oh, I had no idea.
So like, I just think of it like this. Like everyone is gonna, suck up to him because now they know he's getting out. Okay. And like everybody else that was like against him, now Diddy's probably like, oh, I see who you were. 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 So
I saw who was in the courtroom and I saw who wasn't.
Yeah. And honestly speaking, like imagine you were on the stand. Like I'd be scared if I was Cassie too.
Yeah, me too.
You don't know what type of volatile human that is. He's crazy.
Okay, the way he tried to look so masoom in the courtroom.
Oh my God.
Like some innocent grandpa?
From retirement home. Like, I was like, calm down, okay? Nobody
Take that sweater vest off.
Okay? Like, all I could hear was Astroglide and Johnson's baby oil, okay?
Did you see the
pictures?
Disgusting people after the trial when he won?
No, I didn't.
They were all celebrating outside of the courtroom and they were like throwing baby oil everywhere and like dancing and being like, so the behavior was disgusting. And they were doing that in celebration because they were fans of Diddy.
You know what? These groupies need to chill. Okay.
You guys, this is crazy. Like and then you're out here just imagine how Cassie's feeling right now.
That's what I'm saying.
All in social media, the tabloids, whatever you want to call it. All she's seeing is people celebrating with baby oil after she just like vulnerably 8 months, 9 months pregnant. She's telling everybody what she went through.
It's not even the telling. It's the video, girl.
The text messages.
The video, the text messages. It's like her testimony. Like after you hear that as a woman, how is your heart not broken for her? And there's a lot of people that are like, well, she knew what she was doing. Let me just really quickly say, like when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, what the hell do you know? Right? And you're with someone that's like this multi-millionaire mogul. Everybody knows him. There's a level of power that's so scary.
Yeah.
If you haven't been in that situation, are you really going to sit here and blame her?
Exactly.
Like, why do women do that? Why do women always be the women that bring other women down.
Also, the women were the one who were dancing outside the courtroom.
Of course they were.
It was so nasty. It's, oh my God, the whole case has just...
Okay, but 50 Cent's
50 Cent's the best.
Is so
Have you
funny.
seen his Instagram since the trial? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
AI and 50 Cent are like the most
Best
hilarious
friends. They're
people.
best friends. Okay, at one point he posted that Diddy had paid people this to buy these t-shirts. Okay. That said like free Diddy or something. Okay. And he's like how Diddy's team had paid these people outside to wear these free Diddy shirts.
Okay.
So the 50 Cent that's on a shirt. It was so funny. And like some of the things that he says are so funny. But honestly,
They've had
like,
mad beef from day one though.
He's like brave though, girl.
Because he literally doesn't care. I'm telling you,
I know he
from
doesn't
day
care,
one.
of
From
course.
day one.
This is like back in the day, like, you know, when there was like the West Side, East Side, like all that stuff.
Yeah, but also he always would just blatantly be like, he would just call him out in public.
Weird. He thinks he's weird.
Which he is.
Which he really is. Anyway, Diddy needs to go behind bars and never come
Allah.
out. Just saying it for what it is. Tell us what your thoughts are, guys, in the comments.
You guys want to know something crazy? You want to know what song is stuck in my head right now?
Which one?
You know that Abrar Haq song? Have you ever listened to Abrar Haq?
Yes.
You know the song? Aj mela vekhana aaiyan kudiyan laur diyan.
Of course I know that song. It's like a classic.
Whoa. I don't know why I've been singing it since I woke up.
I think if you listen to it, like actually put it on and listen to it a few times, then you'll
what's
think
the
of it.
whoa?
I don't. Back in the day, they would do those things. Okay,
But like, we would all look like birds in the audience singing whoa. And I'm I was like, man, we grew up on some dumb songs, but they're also the best.
Yeah, we did. But also, I mean, that was in like Desi music, but then there was also weirdness in like Western music too.
Yeah, but, okay. And when Akon tries to speak in Hindi,
Yeah.
it's hella weird. It's hella weird.
Okay, but even if you look at some of the boy band's dance moves,
Yeah, and
you're just like, what is this?
It's gonna be me.
What type of moves are these? And back in the day, we were like, yeah, we're gonna
We
copy
knew
these. We are gonna be the.
we were doing the choreography.
I'm so embarrassed.
I practiced so hard because I knew I was going to be in that dance video.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
While my dad killed me on the side.
All right, guys, getting to the question of the day. What's a decision that completely changed your life for the better or for the worse? I'm married out of the culture and my family disowned me. Never been happier. Damn. Wow. I bet there's so many girls that have gone through that.
I'm sure there have, especially if you feel like you just never connected with your parents or you didn't see eye to eye with them for a very long time. If you felt a lot of pressure from your parents, if you felt like they didn't understand you or support you, or, you know, when you just don't feel love from your family, but then you find your chosen family.
Yeah.
And in that chosen family is when you feel like, I actually belong. They don't necessarily have to be from the same culture or religion. And I just feel like they get me, they accept me, they're there for me, they support me. Mm-hmm. And when you end up doing that and you do have your chosen family, then sometimes you don't look back.
Yeah, I think that whole thing that you just said about love is so important because like so many of us didn't grow up with that, the physical and like the emotional feeling of like being loved. Like, of course, you know, you grow up and you're like, your parents love you. Everyone says this, but like, do you feel loved? Especially if you have like tons and tons of siblings, like you kind of feel like you got lost in the mix of it.
Yes.
And then
also your parents were like in such survival mode that they didn't really know how to show you that because they're like, I have way too much to do. Like you're here, you're fed, there's a roof over your head, you have siblings, go be a family so that I can finish everything else on my list.
Yeah, but it's also like the expectations that they had on you to be a certain way. And then when you couldn't fit into that mold. And let's say they wanted a career choice for you and you were like, I'm not that person. Like, I don't want to be that. I prefer doing this. And let's say it's like arts or something, right? And you pursue that. Like maybe you want to be like a musician.
Right.
Okay. So you're saying, I want to pursue that. You actually have the talent, but your parents are not okay with it. And then you meet someone that's just like, no, do it. You're going to be amazing. And they're like, your ride or die.
Right.
Then sometimes you look at your family and you're just like, are you serious? Like you brought me down so much. You took away my happiness. And then you made me feel like I wasn't a good enough person just because I chose a different path than what you wanted for me.
Right. Do you also feel like it was so hard for the generation of our parents to even know what we were really into, what our interests were?
I don't think they really cared.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't really take the time out to be like, oh my God, Hina loves art. Like this could be something she could pursue. they'd be like, no, Hannah's going to be a teacher. Because they only understood the traditional career paths.
But I think for them, the reason they understood the traditional career path is because they came here and they had to like break their back making a living for themselves.
Yeah, I'm not blaming anyone. Yeah. I'm just saying the reality was that I don't think any of them really took the time out to be like, oh, maybe my kid could be a professional athlete because he's actually showing skills of baseball at an early age that nobody in his age bracket could do. For example.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe he can be... he just picked up a guitar and all of a sudden could play. There are a lot of people who are so talented in that way, right? So I think it was also them not understanding how to make time to invest in their kids. And because they were surviving and just trying to live in a world where they had to leave everybody behind, they had to leave their support system behind, they had to leave their language behind, they felt like they were leaving their culture and their religion behind. They came here and held on to things so tight.
Yeah,
they held on to those cultural and religious values so much because they're like, we can't let that go because we already let the land go. So everything else I have to hold on to really tightly. And then you have kids here who may not be connected to the land the way their parents are connected to it. Right? They want to, and they want to understand why their parents are so passionate about back home or where they're from, but they're here now. And they want to explore what opportunities are here. And then that's where the conflict comes between your parents because they're like, nobody does this in Pakistan.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're going to be an artist? Like we don't do that.
And the people that did do that at that time, they weren't like respected.
No.
You know what I mean? It was very like, okay. And if they were respected, like actually there are people that were respected, like Noor Jahan, like there's like so many amazing singers from like back in the day that are extremely talented. They were respected, but it was just like, for them, it was just like, but we don't want that for our children. Like, we don't want them to be in that world of entertainment.
And we don't know what Noor Jahan went to get to where she was.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's a crazy struggle. At that time, to be a female and to be such a star in that industry, I can't even imagine.
The struggle was probably so real.
Right?
I bet it was.
Yo, we should do a deep dive. I'm going to do a deep dive on Noor Jahan.
I'm actually interested to know, like, how did she like get to the point where she was?
Because it's also just something that wasn't culturally acceptable for us.
Yeah, but I also have to say, like, I don't even know if it's culturally acceptable even in this day and age, because a lot of our parents would still not be okay with it. And realistically, I think that there's a lot of people in our generation that would also not be okay with it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend
that it's just from our parents' gen. Yeah.
I also think that like a lot of the kids, a lot of the time when we were younger, our parents didn't even... it's not, and honestly, I feel bad because I don't want to blame them again, because there's just things that they didn't know, and there's things that we know because now we understand how important it is to actually be physically there for your kids and spend physical time with them without distractions. But they never sat with us. They never like really like took the time out of their day to be like, no, I'm going to actually sit with my kids and like, you know, like spend time with them doing what they love, not like, okay, we're going to have a majlis today. Like, let's talk about this or let's talk. It was always just like very, you know, and then when they do talk, it's always like, well, you should be like this. You should do this and you should do this. And maybe they did see the talent. Maybe they did see certain things. Cause I feel like when I was younger, I would draw a lot and I would color a lot. And I know my parents knew that I was really into it, and they knew that I had that in me, the creativity. But I still don't think that if I said to my mom, well, actually it was true. Like if I said I wanted to go into makeup, my parents were like, you can do that on the side, but like do something else. And there, in a sense, it's like, it wasn't the wrong thing, because at that time there was no social media, girl.
No, there wasn't. And
like the struggle to make something is very, very difficult. But 100%. I also think you should let your kids pursue things that they love so they can actually learn.
We also have to understand that there are also parents here who maybe weren't the nicest to their kids. And a lot of the people that do DM us, they have had very difficult relationships with their parents. And it's one thing to have a difficult relationship where we kind of connect, where we're like, oh, our parents were strict. We weren't allowed to do this. And then you kind of like grow into an adult and you're kind of like finding your way, which I feel like a lot of us I can say generally we do connect on. But then there are also a lot of people who had to cut off their family ties because maybe their family was unrealistically toxic to them.
It could be unrealistic.
It could be abuse. It could be verbal, physical abuse. It could be that they didn't accept you for who you are. It could be that they were forcing you to do things that you just couldn't do. We don't know like the ins and outs of everybody's parent-child relationship, but we do know that not every, and this is something that don't hate me for this, but I think this is just something that I've always thought about. Like, for example, when you look at women, you look at them and you're not expecting everybody to be a doctor.
No, of course not.
Not every woman is going to be a doctor. Not every woman can be a teacher. Not every woman can be a firefighter. But why is every woman expected to be a mom?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sometimes the journey of motherhood is not okay. Like people, it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not something that everybody can handle. And I'm not just talking about like the physical aspect of being pregnant and giving birth, but like actually emotionally having to take care of your children, being there for your children, loving your children, wanting to be a mom. Not everybody chooses that path, but for some reason, in terms of our parents and society in general, everybody just looks at women like, yeah, you're expected to be a mom. It should just come naturally to you. There's no guarantee it's going to come naturally to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it comes naturally to a lot of people. Like, I don't think it was naturally coming to me.
Right.
But I do feel like a lot of that pressure is because the older gen is like, that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was. And it's not even desi culture. It's
everywhere.
Single culture.
Right.
It's just a natural thing. And it's also because women are the ones that bring life into the world. Mm-hmm. So it's also just like, well, if every woman was just like, I don't want to have a kid, then goodbye to the population.
Mm-hmm. I know.
But I don't know. I think it's personal choice, of course, at the end of the day. I think majority of the time parents will probably say because they want to have grandkids.
Right.
But I also think that sometimes it's pressure. And I also think that not everyone needs to be a mom. And then there's people that y'all shouldn't even be mothers, you know, like,
but this is also what I'm saying.
The
like,
abusive ones.
That's what I'm saying. Or like, you know, there's a lot of women or couples that struggle with sort of mental health issues. They have like the drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and then they have kids. And how many, I haven't had personal real life experience with this stuff, but how many TV shows do you watch where like the kid is growing up and like the father is abusive
like
because
Teen Mom?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
I haven't ever sat down and watched an episode.
Girl,
oh God, how bad is it?
It's like a lot.
Oh,
like
man.
I used to watch it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And that's why I was not a teen mom.
It scared the living
telling
GBs
you.
out of you.
Yo, sometimes you got to watch things like that to scare you. I'm not even joking.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. And Rouge, like realistically, like when you look at some of the things that they went through, like, yeah, naturally you feel bad because like you realize that when you're a teenager, they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. And not that the child was a mistake, but at the end of the day, like I know that they were probably like, we should have probably waited a little longer.
Right,
We should have been
right.
smarter, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
But some of the people that they picked were drug addicts.
Yeah.
And like they were also themselves drug addicts.
Yeah. And you know, these things pass down.
Of course they pass down. And it's scary.
Girl, what's that show? Is it This Is Us?
Yeah.
With the dad. His dad was an alcoholic in the show.
Wait, This Is Us. Isn't that the sad one?
Yeah, the sad one with Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
Remember her husband?
Yeah.
I forgot his name. The guy from Gilmore Girls.
No. I know who you're talking about.
Anyways, yeah. So he, whenever he used to go back and like have flashbacks of his past as a kid, his dad was an alcoholic. And he kept saying, I'm going to break from it. And no matter what, I'm not going to treat my wife and my kids that way. And eventually down the line, you see that he picks up the same traits of alcoholism.
That's so sad.
Right? So there is also that extreme measure when it comes to like kids feeling like I have to break free and this is the way that I'm going to break free. Because sometimes that change won't happen if you're still stuck under your parents' roof.
But you know what I have to say? I feel like in desi culture, one of the things that like people don't really talk about is how sometimes it's not physical abuse from your parents. It's just the fact that your parents have a completely different perspective on how you should live your life. And they make you feel so guilty about every move you make. Okay. So it's like, if you say, oh, you know what? I choose this career path instead of this. They'll just be like, why did you do that? And like, then you don't get the praise that you've been seeking because every child wants their parents to praise them.
Right.
And you don't get it. And then you're just like, okay, well, I picked the wrong path and, you know, my parents love me less because of it. Or like any decision you make in life. So let's talk, if we bring back to this, if she's saying that she wanted to marry someone outside of the culture and genuinely he's a nice person and your parents are making you feel super guilty about it and literally coming to a point where like, they will disown you.
Yeah.
That to me is like such an extreme.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
such an extreme for me because it's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like what type of craziness is this that you're going to disown your child just because she chose a different path? Like, I just feel like that's not healthy. And honestly, like you don't know how that's going to affect her moving forward. Like, yes, it's great that you're happy, but like, there's no way that you don't have a wound because of it.
100%. And a wound that can only be healed when you have that, unfortunately, that acceptance from your parents.
That's just so sad.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever talked about, there's this influencer that I follow on TikTok, and she's, I think she's Indian, and she married
She has like 5 kids or something.
girl, she's like 9 or 8 or something.
me.
Like she's a grandma now. Like her eldest daughter just had 2 kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she looks so good for her age. Oh my God.
amazing.
I love watching her videos. But she doesn't speak to her parents and ran away from home and got married and like has her own family and her own kids now. And she was even talking about how early stages when her kids were younger, she still, because you have that guilt and that gape, right, in your system, you want them to still have a relationship with your parents. So she's like, I would take my kids. And then she's like, then I saw my parents abusing my kids the way they did with me.
Oh my God.
Because my kids were never good enough, or everything was like about how they look and the color of their skin and their hair and all these things that they always made her feel when she was growing up. And then I think at one point she just decided, or even maybe her kids had decided, that they don't want to have that relationship with grandparents anymore.
That's so sad. But then in some situations, I'm like, well, you know what? Parents, they should uckle up. There you go.
Akal up.
I do think that to a certain extent, it's like, fine, Tika, you know, like, oh, you didn't know in the past. You didn't know that this is what you should have done with your kids. But then when your child is telling you over and over and over again, and you're making zero effort to even try to like meet them halfway, then that's a you problem.
Right.
Like you have to try and adapt as well.
Best/worst decision. Getting my own place and moving out was easily the best decision I ever made in my life. Mind you, this is as a single South Asian woman who has never been married. Was it a battle with the fam? Yes. Was it later accepted wholeheartedly by my parents? Also yes. I needed my own space and didn't want to have to get married to finally have my own household. It's improved my relationship in general, especially with my parents.
That's good.
Guys, what's the bottom line of every single one of our episodes?
Do you, boo? That's the bottom line.
Get your place. Get your own place. I love this so much.
Get your own place.
Get your own place.
It is hard to move out. Can you imagine telling your parents?
Ya Allah.
They had a hard time even letting us go to school like 2 hours away. Okay.
I wasn't allowed to apply to any schools that were not commuting distance.
I wasn't either.
Like, do you think I could apply to Waterloo or Laurier?
Hell no.
Don't even think about it. Your top 3 schools that you pick with that $100 that you have to pay for OUAC have to be within vicinity of taking the GO or the TTC.
Yeah. That's so true. But I do think, I don't even know if I'd have the courage to ask. Like, I actually think if I ever went to my parents at that age and was like, so I'm thinking of moving out, I think they would look at me and laugh. Like they would be like,
no. You know what mom would say? Mom would like, "Main bhi aa rahi hu saath."
But I do feel like this gen is different now. They're so different.
I do feel like it, and I feel like they're doing a better job of explaining. Like, for example, if Laurier has a great engineering program and you worked your butt off to get in, and you know you need like a high, not only just your grades, but your overall like package that you apply with, it needs to show that you're so involved in your school. You have all these leadership qualities. You've done all these things outside, because they're trying to take a more holistic approach to post-secondary programs.
Yeah.
If you're showing that, and then you're explaining to your parents that, look, all of this time, I'm not out here doing all the things that you think teens are doing. I'm actually here like running leadership clubs in my school and getting all these volunteer hours, and then also studying and getting this whatever average that I need so I can get in. They're doing a better job of explaining it, which I feel like maybe sometimes we struggled with growing up. We didn't know how to tell them that this is literally like the top program and I want to be able to go. We just didn't even bother because we knew the answer was going to be no.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I also feel like now, like this generation's parents are different too.
Yeah.
Like they're not as like closed-minded to certain things. But I also just feel like maybe they're also a little bit more aware that like we have to let kids experience life, so they're not closed little hermits for the rest of their lives that can't leave their house.
Right.
So I think, I don't know, like I feel like it's so important, even if you are doing the things that teens are supposed to do. At the end of the day, it's like you're gonna do that stuff here and there. So like whether you do it or not, it doesn't matter, because it's gonna happen regardless. Like their fear is just like, oh, you're gonna do it away from me, versus at least I know that you're gonna come home at the end of the day, which I get. But I also feel like that experience, if you are living on res, is also important, because then you learn to be independent without needing your parents for everything.
Exactly.
So that's
then
why
you learn to manage your own time, because nobody's going to be out of your mummy's not going to be at your door waking you up because you have to catch the bus.
Or like no one's going to be like, did you finish your assignment?
Yeah.
Like
you got to make sure you do it on your own.
Yeah.
Also, nobody's going to make sure that you got food. You got to figure that out on your own.
Ain't that the truth?
Nobody's going to be there to make sure, do you have enough money to get your textbooks? You got to sort your stuff out to make sure that when the semester rolls through, you can get what you need to get.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to be there to form your study groups. You have to find people. You have to find your own village when you're in university.
Yeah, you really do. And it's so scary because it's a completely different thing, but it'll help you be better because then you'll be better equipped at dealing with things that require you to change.
It's such a green flag when men take a stand for their wives. One of my cousins just got engaged. He lives with his parents and his father's aunt, who has her own son, but she doesn't just want to live with him, who's pretty toxic. She interferes in everything, what you eat, where you put things, windows open or closed, who's going upstairs and why, what everyone's doing, literally everything that I can't even mention in this DM. His mother, which is my khala, has quietly endured it all these years. But now he's trying to sort it out before he gets married and his wife moves in. He's talking about living in a separate house so he, his wife, and his parents can have peace without the interference. He doesn't want his wife to go through what his mother did or for people to later blame her, his wife, to be if conflicts happen. He says it's me taking the decision because I know what kind of person she is and I'll never tell my wife to have sabr in this matter because she doesn't have to. Honestly, I think it's so mature. Taking action in advance to protect your future spouse's peace, which is more important than doing this neek kaam of keeping a woman in the house who has her own son. She just doesn't want to go there. Green flag for sure.
That's such a green flag.
That's such a green flag.
That's such a green flag. But I think there's a lot of people that are probably going to listen to this and be like, oh my
he
God.
wants to move out.
He's going to leave his mom? And it's just like, why can't he leave and have his own place and still be an amazing son? Why can't there be both?
Yes.
Like, what the heck?
I also have to say though, remember we talked about this? How we were like, the sons need to have this conversation before the wife is even in the picture?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, even he knows the wife is going to get blamed for everything.
The fact that he knows is like the biggest creep.
The fact that he knows is the fact that this is why he's like, I can't even bring my wife into this because I already know she's going to get blamed for it.
Through that.
Yo, he's taking the real heat from day one.
Yeah, who is this man?
Like, let me step on this coal and walk across this fire first.
I swear to God, that's so necessary though. Like in this day and age, what's a decision that completely changed your life for the better or for worse? Accepting toxicity in the hope that things would work out.
Ooh, I feel like it's a lot of marriages these days, no?
What is it? It could be a relationship.
Could be a relationship too.
Yeah.
Could be a relationship with anyone actually, now that I think about it.
You know what? I'm going to throw this out there. Okay,
go.
You guys say, oh, we're feminists or whatever. Sometimes I feel like us girls are so naive.
Right.
So naive. It's like the lal jhanda is lolling, okay? Like that thing is slapping you in the face and you're just like, but he's so cute. And she loved that he called me a rose.
I love his muscles. He goes to the
He
gym.
picked me up.
In his Toyota Corolla. He has his own car, Hina.
Yeah, but even if he drove a fancy car, like that to people is like such a red flag, or sorry, a green flag. And honest to God, girl, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
If someone rolled up, okay, and was gonna take me on a date and they had to drive this super fancy car, then for me, honest to God, I'd be like, you're trying too hard. You're trying way too hard. I would prefer that you actually have manners and you're a gentleman. And if that is something that like, let's say you do have a fancy car, you don't have to be this like big show off.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to be this like, what do you call it?
Chorapan.
Like a shodan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do you have to be that type of guy?
Okay.
And girls fall into that trap.
Okay, so this whole like avoiding red flags situation. Okay, we need to talk about this right now. Okay, because sometimes, remember when we were talking about like that toxic masculinity a couple of episodes ago, and we were talking about like, you know, what if you have somebody in the family who always has to get the last word in, and you know, in the beginning you're cheering him on like, oh, he's so, look at mard ban ke bol raha hai, and you're just like, oh, look at him getting in the last word.
But sometimes you want him to say it because you're also pissed off at some of the things your dad might be saying.
That's what I'm saying, or like you're something that your sibling is saying, and you're like, you know, or you, but then it's just you and him now. And now every time you and him are having a conversation, he still has to get the last word in.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's say, Hina, you just had a baby. You had a rough
this is
night.
like my husband, you're saying.
Now I'm going to say this is your husband, okay? You had a baby.
Yeah.
You had a rough night. Har ghante baad na Hina uthi
Call
hui
it
thi.
baby.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah.
Okay.
Hina was literally just on TikTok all night.
Straight up.
Okay. And then your husband was at work all day because he had to go the next day. So all day now, bachari kap kapake, you're also trying to survive the day. Okay. And look at her nose.
Already.
But
I'm in it though.
I know because it's also making me sad because you guys, this is such a reality for like everybody who has kids.
Yeah.
Let's say he comes home and you're just like, and he's like, oh, I really need to decompress. Okay? And you're just like, immediately, because obviously you're not really who you are in the first few months after you give birth, immediately you're just like a little bit more snippier. You haven't had any sleep. You're tired. You're exhausted, whatever. So you kind of look over at him and you're like, you need to decompress. Oh. I need to decompress. Regardless of whatever day you had, it's been worse for me because I've also had that night and I haven't slept. And then he's going to be like, oh, then he's going to start giving you the unsolicited advice. Are you even swaddling him? Did you give him gripe water? Did you do those bicycle kicks?
Oh my God.
Did you put him on his belly? What about a bath? Have you even tried any of this stuff, Hina? Because maybe he could fall asleep. Because when I hold him, he falls asleep.
Then maybe you should hold him more. Okay? Clearly you know what you're doing. Okay? Tumhe to sab kuch pata hai. Why are you telling? Just do it then. Like, what the heck?
Dr. Oz, okay.
I swear, I feel like I'd be so livid. I'd be like, let me just swaddle your mouth real quick because I'm so mad right now. Like, how dare you walk in? I just made you fresh khana. Like,
you had time to make fresh khana?
Yeah, like I'm making rotiyan.
Hina's beauty number one, yo.
Yeah, and then like a baby's crying and he's on the swing and you're using your foot to like shake the swing
him while you're trying to flip your.
And then he comes home and he's like, why is he crying? I would be like, I'm about to make you cry. Okay?
This roti is about to be slapped across your face.
This roti is not going to end up where you think it's going to end up. Okay?
It's not going to be in your tid. Let me tell you that.
I would be so upset.
Me too.
Like when they...
It's like, now you're standing there being like, okay, I understand that he always likes getting the last word and he always likes giving unsolicited advice, but really? Does it have to happen all the time? And to me?
Oh my God.
Because this is the red flag that you... maybe unconsciously, maybe consciously decided to ignore. Or at one point you were like, whatever, it's not a big deal. What? So he likes to
likes
to argue. He's a little argumentative.
Oh God, I don't like people like that. Right? Okay. Like the behest, like consistent behest, like all the time. It's like every normal conversation, you got to do the behest. You got to do it.
Lawyer
it's your bread and butter, man. Honestly, like go be a lawyer at that point. Okay. I just feel like I would get so frustrated because these are the same guys when you're like really upset and you're going through a phase. Like if it's that time of the month, if you're postpartum, if you have PPD, like if you're down about something, these are the same guys that are just like, why are you being so overdramatic? Like go outside for a walk. Why don't you get some fresh air? And the way it's just like, do you not think that I am seeing the same TikToks that you're seeing about getting fresh air?
Facts.
Like you think I don't know, but like maybe what I need is emotional connection from the person that I'm married to. You know, the one that I gave you a child, that guy. Where you at? I feel like that
the one who slid in my DMs years ago and wanted to marry me. Where's that guy?
And the amount of effort he was putting in at that time, girl.
Where's the effort now?
Where's the effort now?
Shuru mein to bada raja bana hua tha. Ab kya ho gaya?
It was roses then. He won't even bring me a flipping dandelion now. Okay, honestly, standard is so nil. I can't even.
At that time, it was like, I'm always going to be there for you, baby. I love you.
Especially when they know that the parents are not approving and the way they're just like...
the happiness I'm going to provide for you, no one can do.
Yeah, like, no, we got this. We're a team for life.
This I promise you.
Yeah, and then you're sitting there like, team what? I am the team. I am the team.
Solo.
Yeah. Like, I am the I in team, okay? Like, for God's sake. It's just, it makes me really upset because I don't feel like that's healthy. And yes, of course there's girls that don't see it. I think we avoid it because it's just like, you know, they do a couple little things here and there.
And then you get wooed over.
Yeah. And then if your friends are going out with somebody and let's say one of your friends says, oh my God, he never got me flowers yet. Then immediately you got a boost. Okay. You're just like, yeah, well, my guy got me a flower. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, is this the standard?
Yeah, for
Somebody
real.
gets you a pull and you're like, smitten? Like,
because all of the other guys are not getting anybody pulled. So I guess that's what it is.
Like that.
Okay, another red flag.
Oh God.
Okay.
There's so many.
Let's say in the beginning, when you first met him, you know, he would tell his mom and his sister a lot of things.
Oh, that's
Okay.
scary.
But in the beginning, you're just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like I tell my mom
Likes
stuff
to share.
Yeah. And you're like, I tell my sister things. I have this is so nice because now I know that even after we get married, we can all maintain this like happy hum saath saath hain family concept.
Wait, he's telling his mom things about you?
Just generally, he's just like on the phone with her, and then you just catch him being like, "Oh yeah, maybe me and Hina are gonna go like on a trip in a few weeks."
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And in your mind, you're like, oh, "Okay, whatever, not a big deal, not a big deal." And then obviously, as time happens and as life happens with the two of you together, now he is telling his mom a little bit of like the nitty gritty.
Give me an example of the nitty gritty.
Let's say you had a kid.
Okay.
Let's say you had a kid, and all of a sudden you hear him telling his mom, like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. The baby keeps crying. I don't know." And then his mom is now like, "Tell Hina to try this. Okay? And now he's coming to you. Guys, you should see Hina's face close up right now.
Honestly, like
Now he's coming to you, and then he's like, "Well, my mom said." My mom said. And guys, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with taking parental advice from like any set of parents, especially when you're trying to figure out, new things. But you're getting upset because you're like, okay, but I don't want to hear what your mom says. Why don't you come here and try and help me to figure out how we can do this together? Because it's our kid.
Yeah, okay. I don't think it's a big deal if somebody tells their mom like little things here and they're like, yeah, I think she might be colic and she's crying a lot. Let's say.
Okay.
Because I feel like I tell my mom that. If he tells his mom, it's fine, whatever. But what would really bother me if it's like personal stuff.
Okay.
Like if I had postpartum.
Okay.
And he's telling his mom and his sisters like, yeah, she's going through postpartum. All she does is cry. Sometimes she feels like she doesn't even have an attachment to the baby. Like that to me is a betrayal. That's a betrayal to me.
That broke my heart.
That's
a
betrayal because it's just like there's some conversations and like, you know what? Everyone has intrusive thoughts, okay? And sometimes when you're postpartum, you genuinely don't feel attached to the baby because
100%.
you're like it's an out of body experience, okay? And like God forbid that you tell the older generation that, okay?
They'll be like, hi, aise nahi
First of all,
kehte.
it's been like 40 years since they had kids,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So now you're telling the older gen and they are literally like, oh my God, God is listening to everything you're saying and he's gonna like, you're gonna get bad luck for saying this and like you should be grateful.
Yeah.
You should be grateful, blah, 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 blah. And then it's just like, imagine someone going through postpartum. Your husband obviously threw you under the biggest Mack truck of life, okay?
Goodness.
And then your mother-in-law comes over. She brings you like pilau, okay? But then she also brings a side dish of unsolicited advice, okay? Which is like, I brought the pilau because I heard you were having a good time and I just want you, or you were not okay. And I just want you to know that you shouldn't say things like that because mera beta ghabra jata hai. I would be so mad.
No.
Be so mad.
Because I would look at her and be like, I would rather take raita than your side of unsolicited
I would just be like,
advice.
take the pilau back and please go with it. Because right now I'm in the trenches and what I really needed would have been something like a hug.
For real.
Okay? Something like, yo, this is normal. Like, what can I do to help?
Oh my God.
That's what I would have needed.
You know what? I would love for the older generation to actually just give the younger generation of moms a hug during that time.
Yeah. And like just be supportive.
Yeah.
Because I will bet money that if it was that person's daughter, like, and she said that, it would be such a different ball
Completely
game.
different. Completely
Such
different.
a different ball game. And you don't know who your mother-in-law is going to go and tell. And then you look at your husband.
Or
and
your
you're
mother-in-law is going to call your mom.
Oh my God,
being
even worse. Even worse.
आप बात करें हिना से हम ऐसे नहीं कहते.
And do you think your mom's going to be like, you know what, just stay out of their business? No, she's going to be like, hi,
हिना
उसने
ने
ये क्यों
क्या
बात कही है? मैं अभी उसको इसी वक्त फोन कर रही हूँ.
आपने
And
बहुत
Hina's
अच्छा
gonna
किया कि
get
आपने मुझे फोन किया है.
I'm going to be slaughtered at the butcher shop. Okay. Like, is that
way to add to your PPD?
That's what I'm saying. Okay. And the way that I would be livid with my husband.
Oh my God.
Because
real.
I'd be like, yo, you know what? I told you something like in confidence. This is our child. You have no idea what it feels like. And instead of being there to help, okay, you're just out here telling this person, why couldn't you just go out instead of telling somebody, go get me a chai. Okay. Because you know I like chai.
Call my friends over.
Okay.
God.
Take me
a
out.
triple mousse chocolate cake.
Yeah, like that's my money. I'm so mad.
I remember when I was pregnant with my first, obviously first time mom, like you have so many nerves, you're so scared. And I was like close to like 9 months. And it was like a professional development session that I went to. And the girl on stage, so I was like super swollen feet and stuff. So I couldn't even sit in the crowd. I stood up and I went to the back because I was like, yo, I can't even sit on this chair right now. Okay. And like the girl on stage, she kind of like saw me and was like, "Oh, is it your first?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, you might want to step out for this story." They were talking about like mental health and a lot of like awareness for it for teachers.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, "Nah, it's fine. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I want to sit down. I want to watch what this is all about." And she talked about her journey with her first kid. And she goes, she went through such bad PPD, Hina. Like when I say how bad it was literally so bad. And she's like, there were times when I would be at the top of my stairs in the middle of the night, my kid is screaming, I'm crying. And she's like, I would think about just falling down the stairs.
And this is so normal.
And I know you guys are thinking so like, normal. Oh my God, how can you even think that way? Or why are we talking about stuff like this? But in reality, these are the intrusive thoughts that can happen when you are literally feeling like you've been thrown into a well and you don't know how to get out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what else she talked about, aside from how she was feeling? She said her husband didn't bond with the baby immediately. And she goes, this is something that we never talk about, because she was like, I still felt a connection with my baby, even though I was going through PPD, because I gave birth and the baby was like grew in my belly. Yeah. So you naturally have an attachment. Yeah. She was like, my husband in the beginning didn't even feel like it was his son for like a really long time. He just felt a little weird. Like, I don't really feel like this is mine. Like, how do I, even though he did the skin to skin and all the things that, you know, everybody tells you to do so that you do grow that attachment. She goes, it took a while for him to even understand that too. So she's like, it's not just about, and she was trying to break the cycle of having open conversations about things like this, because she was like, I'm standing here 14 years later being able to tell this story. Do you think I was ever able to tell this story to anybody beforehand? No, of course not. And she goes, her PPD got worse because she was swallowing the intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, of course. You don't even feel like you can share it because you're just like, is this a safe environment to share it?
Exactly.
I don't want to deal with the judgment. Then I'm going to drive home and feel like crap about even sharing it.
I already feel bad for thinking this way.
I think with the dad situation, I feel like that's so valid because like men also are not raised, like, you know how we are women?
Yeah.
Even in our culture, it's like we have little cousins, we take care of them. We see a baby and like, you're like, oh, I want to play with the baby.
Yeah,
Which guy do you know that's like, yeah, I want to go play with babies? Like, it's like a very small circle of guys that are like that.
Right.
A lot of guys just don't have the interest. So like, it's also, I think, a little bit of like the fear of like, oh my God, they're so tiny. How do I hold them? And then you're scared, but then you also realize there's like this huge responsibility on you now to be this like, safe keeper and like provider and like, you know, there's a lot of changes that happen for the guys too.
Yeah, dad guilt is real too.
When I fought for 11 months to get out of an engagement I was emotionally forced into, my life changed for the better.
Emotionally forced into?
Yeah, like, oh,
by the guy?
By the family. Your family is emotionally forcing you to marry your cousin. Okay? Your family is saying, I want you to marry Junaid, okay? And you're like, please, I can't marry Junaid. He's weird, okay? Please, mom.
I called him Junaid bhai my whole life.
And then you're sitting there like convincing your mom, but your mom's like, ye meri dil ki khwahish thi. Tumhari khala itni khush hoengi. And you're just like, not him.
जब तुम मेरे पेट में थी उन्होंने तुम्हारा हाथ मांगा था.
And then
मैंने उस वक्त हाँ कह दिया था हिना. मैंने उस वक्त हाँ कह दिया था.
मैंने तो अंगूठी भी ले ली थी. And you're sitting there like,
उन्होंने अंगूठी दी थी. जब तुम पैदा हुई थी उन्होंने अंगूठी पकड़ाई थी मुझे.
And you're sitting there like, and then Junaid is trying to slide into your DMs thinking
Junaid is like
solid.
Junaid is like मेरी तो बात पक्की हो गई है.
Junaid's thinking I'm in. And Junaid bhai doesn't even know he's a bhai.
Yeah, Junaid is like
John.
Junaid is like, oh, मैं तो जब 3 साल का था तब से मैं सोच रहा था मेरी शादी इसके साथ होनी है.
Oh, and then you're sitting there, and then your mom is also guilting you, and she's telling you Junaid is so excited to marry you.
Can I tell you? It's not just your mom, girl. All your cousins.
The rishtedar find out.
Everybody knew from day one. They're all looking at you like, okay, Hina, to shaadi kab ho rahi hai? Junaid intezar kar raha hai tumhara.
And you're out there. It's an awkward smile because you can't be like, ew, I'm not marrying Junaid. Okay,
but sometimes you should say that.
Yeah, you should. But like you're a family setting. Let's say Junaid is like visiting your house for a davat. It's a family davat. It's Eid. Junaid is here. Okay,
Aruj has IBS. Aruj is upstairs. She has IBS.
Aruj, we already know Junaid's gonna come up there and give you the IBS medication. Okay,
Junaid's gonna bring my softy chai.
Yeah, and Aruj, gonna sit out there waiting for your IBS to finish. Okay, and he's gonna just sit there. And when you come out, he's gonna be like, you good?
You good? Because I want to talk to you about the anguti that my mom gave you when you were born. Bruh!
Listen, girl, he's at the davat, okay? Now, he already is like super excited because somehow, some way, people are letting it slip that like your mom has told you you're marrying him.
Okay.
Now, through a broken telephone, because y'all know this is how it works, he now thinks that it's baat bakki, okay?
Oh, God.
And you're there like, bro, I got a boyfriend, okay? Let's just say for what it is, okay?
Girl, even if I didn't,
Even if you didn't.
fake it till I make it.
Okay, and you're sitting there, and he's like, you're just looking around and you catch his eye and he's giving
so
you that
grossed out.
flirty
I'm
look.
so
Okay? And you're just like, oh, like, what do I do? Where do I look? And you turn around in disgust, but he thinks you're flirting with him.
Oh.
Okay? And then there's a bunch of aunties that come around. They're like, humne tumhari khabar suni hai. And you're just sitting there like, okay, thank you. And you can't be like, auntie, kaun si khabar? You can't say things
I know.
Now, this generation, you guys should say things like that. But in
We're
our
talking back in the day, yo.
you would literally like swallow the nasty feeling and just be like,
And you know, part of you would just be like, yeah, well, I guess this is happening now.
yeah.
The way you would convince yourself that I guess this is happening
and
now.
your mom pulls you aside at the end of the day and they're like, hey, they want to confirm a date for the engagement. And you're sitting there like,
Okay. Let's say that you tell your mom, you're like, Ma, I can't marry him. I can't marry him.
and your mom's just like, oh,
And your mom's like, you're gonna bring a shame to the family. इतना अच्छा लड़का है ना, हमें कोई लड़का इधर मिल नहीं रहा.
उनको तो पता है कि तुमने हाँ कर दिया. And I'd be like, किसने हाँ किया? Like, मैंने नहीं की.
You're saying हाँ on my behalf.
And she's gonna be like, I thought you were okay because y'all were like chill.
वो तुम्हारे लिए चाय लाया था ऊपर. मुझे लग रहा था.
I'd be like, bro, my grandfather brings me chai. You want me to just baat bakki with that too? Come on. You serious? Like, for real?
Oh my goodness. I would just...
Junaid is just doing the most that day.
Yo, Junaid is going to get his heart broken 11 months after. Because you won't say no.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you're not feeling it, you got it. And moms need to step back. Don't do this stuff, guys. Oh my God.
It's so... the emotional guilt that they make you feel is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like, oh, like, you know, you should marry into a good family.
Yeah.
Right? For them, it's just like, oh, pade likhe. Like, they have, like, they're all well settled. They call it settled. Okay?
Or
They're
it's like
settled.
all of a sudden Junaid got his visa to the UK. And now it's
Junaid
like...
be doing the most.
And now it's like, hey, na tum bahir ja sakti ho.
Or Junaid's becoming a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If you say no to Junaid, then he's becoming a doctor, your mom is going to slap you so hard.
I don't think your mom is going to let you say no.
But I would say if you really don't like Junaid, spare him and spare yourself.
Spare yourself.
Anybody want to marry him?
Because look at the scenario. She's much happier. After a terrible experience in my college love life, I quietly agreed to the first rishta my parents brought forward. At that time, it felt like I had finally made a good decision. But now, nearly 2 years later, I'm realizing he's a red flag too. Completely incompatible with me. And it feels like it's too late. The families are deeply involved and happy, while I feel stuck in a relationship I don't want. What once seemed like the best decision has turned out to be the worst. I don't know how to take a stand for myself. Being part of the traditional Pakistani brown family makes it even harder, especially since the rishta is within the family.
Junaid aa gaya, wapas aa gaya.
Junaid did a damn boomerang and made his way back in everyone's DMs. Speaking up now would ruin the relationship across the board. And I don't want to mention any names.
So she's basically, summarize it.
Basically, she had a love life in college and it didn't work out. Okay. And because she was so heartbroken, she said yes to the first rishta that her parents brought. So let's say maybe she told her parents about this love life.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. Now her parents were like, okay, now we're going to do what we want to do. Mm-hmm. We tried to support you. We didn't really think it was going to work out with him. You didn't listen to us. We were there for you. Now, jo hum kehenge na wo hoga. And at that time, you're so young and heartbroken and sad. And you're like, yo, maybe my parents are going to know what's best for me. So you're like, all right, fine. They bring over Junaid.
Junaid's just, he needs to chill out.
Hey, they bring over Junaid. They're like, khandani ladka hai, acha hai, doctor hai, well settled. Hamare khandan mein, you know, this is all good, whatever. And in that moment, Junaid's obviously eyeing you. He's wooing you. So you're like, oh, you know, this guy actually cares for me. I was in a relationship that didn't work out and that guy had all these toxic traits.
Okay.
Junaid doesn't have those.
Okay.
Right? But maybe you're also just being so persuaded by your family and your parents that you don't see them right away.
Okay.
Then you get married to him.
Okay.
It's 2 years now.
Oh, she's already married.
She's already married to him. It's 2 years now. And she goes, now what I feel like was the best decision of my life then is it turned out to be one of the worst. And I just don't know how to say anything or do anything. The families are deeply involved and happy because khandani rishta tha. And now she's like, I don't know what to do.
I mean, I think we need context.
We do need context. Like what are the red flags? Like, what is it that's making you feel like this decision is the worst decision that you made?
And like, what was it about him that made it the best decision at the beginning?
At that time, yeah.
Like, was it just that he was a rebound? For lack of better words, not saying in a harsh way. But like, sometimes, okay, let's say you come out of a relationship that was like very toxic, okay? And then you find a person who's not toxic. So naturally you're just like, oh, I feel calmer.
Right.
They could still have their own red flags.
Right.
But then just because it's a shift in the difference of the type of relationship it was, you're just like, oh, this feels so good. And then you see your family happy. And honestly, that adds like so much like sukoon. It really does. And then you later realize that like, okay, like this is not what I wanted. But you're already deep into it.
2 years.
If it was something like abuse, I would say leave.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe people think I'm like being a bad person. Guys, I'm not a therapist. I'm just asking my carinho. But like, if it was abuse, never stay. Ever. Because that man ain't gonna fix himself. Okay? Unless he genuinely is fixing himself. That's different. But if it's like something else, like what... If it's just like, like growing pains, like in the sense of like every relationship is not going to go through the honeymoon love phase forever. We talked about that. If it's something like that where it can be addressed, you guys can go to therapy and like potentially seek some help and work on things. I would say go that route.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. There are some things that I think as women, if you cross that line, you can't come back from it in a relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like the abuse, the cheating, the lying. And I mean like real lying. Any sort of addictions that were hidden in the beginning. A lot of these things, right? I feel like if it's other things that in the beginning you thought this was the best decision, maybe it is good to like find some professional help and see what it is that you can uncover. But I also know, girl, when you come from like a Pakistani household, even trying to seek professional help, what if he's not even on board?
Yeah, that's very possible. And then you're like, a lot of guys are not on board.
And he's like, oh, I don't want to put in that kind of work. What do you mean? I'm not going to go speak to somebody. We can talk about it ourselves on our couch.
Okay, but is that not a red flag too?
So let's say that's one of the red flags.
Okay, well, I mean, then you really have to figure out like, what do you want? I know that like families are involved, but at the end of the day, like, is your family married? Like, maybe I'm coming off too like...
strong.
Yeah. But my thought with it has always been like, your family's not married to that person. They don't know the ins and outs of your relationship. This goes to everyone, okay? Including myself. No one knows the ins and outs of your relationship. If you're really, really, really unhappy, you literally have a choice.
Right.
Either you can stay in unhappiness.
Right.
Okay. Or you can do something about it to try to sort that out.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like, there might be a little bit of like, issues that come up when the extended family or the khandan find out. But isn't it better for you to be happy versus like they'll get over it?
I think there's two other pieces that are missing in this conversation. One, is he happy? Because sometimes we don't even address that. Like, what if he's also unhappy? Then it's like maybe you can have an open conversation about like, hey, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to make this?
But do you really think that if one person is unhappy, the other person would be happy? I don't.
Girl, sometimes in relationships, I feel like men might be a bit delulu where they think, no, but I'm doing everything and I'm providing and I'm coming and she seems fine.
No, but like, okay, I think of it like, okay, if a girl is not feeling happy,
right?
Okay, she's not even able to be a source of comfort and happiness for the guy. It's the honest truth. Everybody knows this, okay? If you are not happy in your relationship, I'm only speaking of this as a girl, you are really unhappy. How are you going to bring that happiness to the guy? And in turn, if you're unhappy, he's gonna pick up off of your vibes,
right?
And he's gonna know he might be doing the most when it comes to like financial stability or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're not reciprocating that energy back, he's not gonna be happy.
But maybe he just thinks like, girl, if it's like a khandani rishta or something, let's just say maybe he thinks this is what marriage is.
Yeah, maybe he thinks that.
Because he thinks this is what I saw growing up. Like you get married and everybody has this la-di-da honeymoon phase and we love each other and we're holding hands. And then eventually you just settle into this like roommates, my parents don't sleep in the same bed style living. And this is normal.
Guys, that makes me so sad not sleeping in the same bed.
Oh my God, yeah.
What the heck?
But it is very normal.
Yeah,
and I feel like maybe guys grew up thinking like, I don't know, this is kind of what I thought this relationship was going to be like. I don't really need more from it. That could be a reality.
Okay, so I think that's different in the sense of like, okay, if he's basically just saying, okay, well, you know what? I know that the relationship has honeymoon phase, and then after that, it's just like regular life. But at the end of the day, if you are going up to him and telling him that I'm unhappy, then he still knows you're unhappy, unless you didn't say anything. I mean, I think the first person you should talk to is him.
Yeah.
Say something to him, and then you have to figure out what you want.
Yeah.
Like if you're genuinely like, I don't like this person and I've tried, then you have to find a way to talk to him about that.
Right.
Because maybe there's things that could change. Because obviously you liked something in him from the beginning.
Right.
Unless it was all a lie. That was our episode for today. As you guys know, we are also going to have a part 2 on our Patreon. Please make sure you guys are subscribed to Patreon. It's every Monday at 7 a.m. And make sure you guys are following us on all of our socials. We have some new stuff coming up. So please keep an eye out and we will see you guys next time.
Okay, Mom.